All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to our, golly, how does she do it? Channel. I'm so excited to have our new guest with us today. Her name is Selina Bradley, and I could not be more excited to introduce y'all to Selina. She is a real estate agent. She is a mom. She is super humble, and so it's going to be really hard to get out of her all the hats she wears and all the things that she does here in the community. But I just want y'all to know I had the pleasure of meeting her through a commercial real estate listing that she had. And y'all, when I say commercial real estate listing, like this is like luxury commercial she was handling. So just this quiet, very confident woman. And when I met her the first time, I just thought, man, I want to be friends with her. And since we've had a chance to show some houses together, she's just become a colleague in the real estate world. But more importantly, someone I admire as a high achieving, career driven mama. And so, Selena, welcome to our show. And I'm so glad to have you here.
Hello, hello. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here.
So, Selena, tell us where you're from, how long you've been in real estate, how many kids do you have?
So, I'm from Bradenton, Florida, born and raised here, one of the very few that's
That's
here.
right.
And I've been doing real estate for 12 years now. This year's make 12 years. And I have two children. I have a son that's 21 and a daughter that's 11.
That's right. Funny story, y'all. And for those of you that are following this channel that have been working with me for any significant amount of time, you'll know that this is exactly what happened, and you'll probably even envision it even more so. But I was heading to, I had my girlfriend in town. We've been in business together for over a decade, and she and I went to grab some food, and this wonderful young man was helping us. He was so polite. He had just a very charismatic personality. And immediately I'm thinking to myself, how do I do life with this young man? Like, he is incredible. And so I start asking him some questions. Are you in school? What are you going to school for? He's like, oh, I think I'm going to go into real estate. And for those of you that know, I'm in real estate as well. So I'm thinking, okay, I want this kid on my team. And he says, yeah, my mom is in real estate. And lo and behold, he's your 21-year-old, Selena. And my gosh, you have raised him well. What a cool kid.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes, he's my heart. That's my boy. I have both my children are great, but yeah, my son, he always amazes me. He did 2 years of college and I always wanted him to go into real estate and he wanted to go to college. And well, of course, I'm not going to stop him from doing that. So he did 2 years, and going into his junior year, he said, Mom, I think I want to get into real estate. And he had this plan. He said, I'm going to take the class, and then I'm going to become a like he had this whole plan. I'm like, go for it. And I was happy because it wasn't forced on him. So he takes his state exam. He's already passed his pre-licensing course. So he takes his state exam this month, and I'm just looking forward to him, becoming my partner. I tell him we'll be mom and son duo.
That'll be a great tag team for sure. So,
Yeah.
Selena, did you wake up one day and just think, I want to be a mama? Did you wake up one day and say, I want to be a realtor? Like, what were your ambitions as a young woman?
Yeah. Early on, I had my son when I was 24, and I was working a job, kind of at a group home facility. And I used to work so many hours when I had him. He was young, and I would work like every day, 10 hours a day. That's like 70 hours a week. And I said, I can't do this forever, like not with a child. So I, um, ended up starting a home daycare. So when he was 6 months old, I started doing home daycare so I could be with him every day. So it was like to me, I always wanted to be a housewife. So that was like the closest thing. I'm home with kids, other kids, and my child, of course. And it just kind of went from there, starting my entrepreneurial journey then. And so I did home daycare for 12 years, 12 years. And in the midst of that, my son had got really sick and he had to
Oh,
go and stay in the hospital when he was about 6 or 7. And I couldn't be with him the whole time because I had to care for other children. So that just
yeah.
tore my heart. Like, what in the world? So I prayed about it and I said, Lord, what can I do to have flexibility, be there with my child? Because I knew we were, this was going to be a journey with him, um, but still provide income, be able to provide. And it just went in my spirit to do real estate. I knew nothing about real estate, nothing. I did buy a house at that age too. I was 23 when I bought my first home, but I was taught, buy a home, stay there 30 years, pay it off. Like, that's what my parents did. My mom, she's a widow, but she still lives in the same home we grew up in. So, when they said go into real estate, I'm like, where do I start? So I called my then broker who helped me buy the home and like, hey, I'm thinking about getting in real estate. Can you like show me the ropes? Let me see if there's something I want to do. And she told me, if you're serious, get your license and I'll show you everything I know. And 6 months later, got my license, and she was like, okay, we're going to do this, this, and that. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a realtor. And it started there. And she kind of prepared me like, real estate's not easy. It may take you a year to get your first listing. So I'm like, okay. And I had my first listing the first week. First,
Selena, that's amazing. I didn't
yes,
have a first listing in a first week, that's for sure.
it was the first week. It was quick closing cash deal. And I was like, wow, like I couldn't believe how fast it happened. It closed in 2 weeks. My first deal, my first listing, closed in 2 weeks, cash deal, no problems. Probably my easiest listing ever. But yeah, that's how I started in real estate. So
Well, I was going to say, clearly there was somebody that was watching over you because they wanted you to see this is definitely where you're meant to be, because that's not how it always goes, as you now know.
yes, exactly, exactly.
So when I reached out to you and I said, "Hey, I've started this channel for high achieving women slash moms," what did you think about that? Have you ever seen yourself as that?
Um, I know I am high achieving, just like hearing from other people, but I mean, personally, I just think I'm average, just getting along in life, really just moving along and doing what I can do and what's put on my heart to do. So I really don't see myself as that, but I'm getting better at it.
Well, I was just going to say it's interesting because the Lord showed me something on my vacation, and I've never thought of this before. And I've always been wildly passionate about helping women in business that also love to be a mom. And quite frankly, my drive for success has come out of being a mom. I didn't want to be at school raising everybody else's kids while somebody was home raising mine. That's kind of where it started
Mm.
for me.
Yeah.
And do you know what the Lord showed me on this Christmas break? I don't
Well,
know why this seems so like, whoa, how did
mhm,
I not know this before?
mhm.
Proverbs 31 woman.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'm not claiming that we have it all together. I'm not claiming that we're the perfect. I'm just saying that woman was career driven and that
Mhm.
woman was fiercely passionate about her children and her home and
Yes.
her spouse, you know? And so um I just went, well, I'm not just talking to high achieving women, career driven moms. I'm actually talking to women who are pursuing Proverbs 31
Yes.
style,
Yes.
like status. Like we are
Exactly.
pursuing Proverbs 31 status. Maybe that should be the name of the channel.
I love that
Because
because
that woman helped the community too. And Selena, you're doing that. Tell me about your nonprofit.
yes, yes. I have a nonprofit called the Selena G Foundation. It was in the works for years, years, and finally came to fruition. And the mission for my nonprofit is just to help everyone in the community. We give out scholarships. We did a scholarship for a young lady to become a realtor. Like I want to
Okay.
help and I want to show people how to go and how to come about doing in real estate. And also with affordable housing, we help with furnishing. And I'm trying to build up enough funds to help with like first time home buyers and things like that. So we're at the beginning stages of my nonprofit, but it's definitely going to grow. And you definitely will hear more about it as time goes. We also adopt families during Christmas, and I don't even
Mm.
post about it a lot. For one, I just don't like to brag on, things like that. And then even time, time of, posting those things. But we're definitely in the works of building it and getting bigger and bigger as time passes.
Well, I think one of the first things that also made me like, I remember when I met you the first time, just number one, loving your personality. And what do the kids say now? Aura. Like, I was like, ooh, I love her aura.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
but then
Same,
we
same,
had
same with you.
a, well, then you followed up and said, hey, I have a number of young people. I'm showing, basically, you were modeling a day in the life of a realtor or something
Yes.
like that. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, you had me at hello already, but now you really grabbed my heart. And so no, I just am excited to get behind what you're doing with your nonprofit because I happen to have a church that I go to, and there's a lot of young people that are breaking generational cycles of never owned a home, don't know
Yeah.
how to run a budget, and those things are I'm so passionate about, and that's why I love we're in real estate because we should know what's out there for them
Yes.
to be able to help them in that process.
Yeah.
But well, okay, so let me ask you this because obviously you're wearing a lot of hats. You're a philanthropist, you're a mom, you are a realtor, recently going through a divorce, so you're more single now. How do you navigate all those things?
Yeah, can't say it's easy at all. But one thing like my mom has instilled in me that keeps me going is life goes on. And yes, I am currently, going through a divorce very unexpectedly, but this is where
I'm
we
sorry.
are. And yeah, but one thing, like I said, my mom taught me is life goes on. And I just want to be able to show women that, like you said, our life isn't perfect. We do go through things. But we have to know. And one thing that keeps me going are my children. I know, even though my son is considered grown now, but I always had the ambition to show him things that I didn't know or give him things or the life that I didn't have. I did grow up
Mhm.
in a two-parent household. I can't say that it wasn't traditional because my dad got hurt when I was in elementary school. And so my mom was more of the worker and the breadwinner, and my dad was always there, like the stay-at-home dad, cooked and took us to practice, and he just never missed a game of any of us, home or away. I played basketball too, so but it's just, the drive of you got to keep going. You got to keep going no matter what. And my mom approved that when my dad got hurt. And yes, she worked, but then she went into overdrive. Like, I'm going to make sure my family is good. We always had the best of the best. So I know I get that from her. Even though she's not wasn't an entrepreneur, she worked at Tropicana for I think 38 years or something before she retired. And just watching her work and make sure we always had and took care of us, it's like I want to do that for my kids. I want to be there. I want to make sure they get the things and have the lifestyle that I didn't have, even though my lifestyle felt was good. But things have changed, and I just want to be able to travel, show my kids the world. So we just keep going. We just keep going. And just came back from this week, Women's Council Realtors, I'm president-elect. But we had a trip, and I took my mom and my daughter, and they enjoyed time together as I was in trainings and learning more. And we got to do like some breakfast and some dinner together. But it was just good to have them around.
Well, because you're also modeling, and I believe more is caught than is taught. So, one of the things I'm a big believer in as a high achieving working mom is all the things I'm doing, I'm hoping my kids are picking up something from it. And
Mhm.
clearly Troy has. He is
Yeah.
a shining light. I always say, show me who you hang out with and I'll tell you your future. Show me your circle
Mhm.
of future. But I can tell you
Mhm.
this, introduce me to your child and I'll tell you what kind of parent they are. And
Mhm.
Troy was a great, when he said, my mom's a realtor, I'm like, oh, who is it? And he's like, Selina Bradley. And I'm like, oh, of course, of course. And so clearly he has been catching what you have been throwing down because he is a fine young man. So as you're wearing all these hats, Selena, I'm curious. Obviously, burnout creeps in. You kind of mentioned your mom just kind of taught you got to keep going, life goes on. But between managing your time, your energy with work, home, and everything in between, what are some of your non-negotiables?
Non-negotiable is family time. Like, we always do things together, whether it's a trip, whether it's dinner, whether it's last night we made what was it? Root beer floats. So Troy bought the family like this soda machine that you do at home, and we got ice cream and made it together and made root beer floats. Like, it's the small things, and my children love it. Like, and even with my siblings, like, I have three brothers, and I love them all dearly. And it's like we do things together. Our families are close. It's just family time to me is non-negotiable. And like this year, I hosted Christmas and had like my cousins, everybody. I think it was probably like 50 people here, but just spending time with family, because that's the most important to me. That's the most important to me. And if I have to stop, drop, and tend to my family, I'll do that.
Well, and it almost sounds like, because obviously, as a woman who is now walking through divorce, in addition to wearing all these hats, I'm sure they're a big part of your village. I mean, how much has your family been there for you in
Um,
this process?
My family is amazing. My village is amazing. Like my mom, my brothers, like they really just keep me going, and they support me so much in whatever I do. If I say, I got this event, or even like I have a brother that lives like a minute away from me. We live in sister neighborhoods. And him and his wife, they tell me all the time, you never have to ask if you need us to watch Nora, or you need to just drop her off. And even in a sense, when they do things as a family, they'll call, hey, we coming to get Nora. It's just like my support is amazing. And like my mom just sent me flowers just because, and that's just something she does. It's So I'm just very grateful for my family, just very grateful for them and their support. And even my friends, my friends text me all the time, and or call me or tell me let's go somewhere. It's just it's good to have a great support system, and I realize everybody doesn't have that. So I'm just thankful for all my friends and family that I have.
Well, and I'm just going to make a small plug because I also have a very amazing family, but that doesn't mean they always see things the way that I see them or agree with things that I'm like. The world of fostering and adopting brought our home and family and village into something that several of them did not sign up for. So they had to
Mm,
make a decision of it, how they were going to like come around that, and it was
Yeah.
different for everyone. And I
Yeah.
learned in that season, just because they may not be the village for this role doesn't mean that God has not been faithful. Because I'm telling you, friends, if you're sitting here listening to this and you're like, well, my family isn't supportive, I don't have people a minute down the street in a sister neighborhood or a mom that's sending me flowers. I'm just telling you, pray for the Lord to show you what you're not seeing, because anytime the people that I wanted to show up for me didn't, the Lord always provided it a different avenue. And
Mhm.
so, but as high achieving women, sometimes we have a hard time accepting help. Do you have a hard time with that, Selena, or do
Very,
you
very hard time accepting or asking.
ask?
I
Agreed.
still, that's one of my biggest challenges now. And my mom, she notices it. We're very close, and she'll just come over and do a load of laundry. Like, she don't ask me, so because I always say, no, I'm good, I got it, I'm good. So things like that, it really helps me, in a sense of just home life. But I still do have a challenge of asking for help or even accepting help. And I have an assistant, I have an assistant in real estate, and she'll tell me, Selena, I'm gonna do this, that, because it's still hard for me to even give my assistant tasks,
Delegate. That's
yeah,
right. That's right.
delegate. It is. But I'm working on that. I'm working on that. I'm learning to accept help, to delegate things to other people, and like my family, they're all supportive. My aunts, cousins. I mean, I have so much support. I'm very thankful, and I just be like, no, I got it. But I'm getting better at it.
So this is how this happened for me. I was at some of the heights of my career before I got into real estate. And I mean, things were just thriving.
Mhm,
And at that time, I was giving here, I was giving there. And when I say giving, like I had the ability to give some finances here, give some finances there. And
mhm,
the coach of the school where the kids went was always saying, can I give your kids? Now I'm a single mom. So, and at
mhm.
this point, I've got one extra kid in the home, right about to add another kid in the home and traveling all the time. And the coach kept saying, can I bring your kids home? Can I help you after practice? Is there anything? And I always be like, no, because in my mind, I was helping him. I was giving to the program. I was financially supporting some initiatives, blah, blah, blah. One day, it was almost like the Lord hit me upside the head. Sister, just like you love to be there for coach, coach wants to be there for you. And it
Yeah.
wouldn't hurt you to get a little help on some drive home. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's no joke. And it's just
Yeah.
like it changed everything for me. So I'm not saying it's easy for me to accept help anymore, but it was like a big move in the right direction for me to realize I'm taking away from somebody a gift that they want to give.
Yeah.
And that's
Mm.
the way they can give. Maybe they have a little bit more time than I do, where I had a little bit more finances. Is one better than the other? No. But if he wouldn't have taken my gift, how would I have felt? I would have been like, oh, I want to help. And
That's
so I don't know.
awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
It just flipped the switch for me, Selena. It was like, it was almost kind of like a smack in the face. Like, how would you feel if he said, you know, thank you, I don't want your money?
Yeah.
I'd have been like, that
Wow.
hurt my feelings. He's like, that's what you
Yeah.
keep doing to this man every time he asks to bring your kid home. And as a single mom, don't you think your kid needs some male role model? And I'm like, yep, yep, they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of male role models, I would share this. Just going through a divorce, and I was telling my kids, I thought I had a father figure, someone you can look up to, and my son came back with, Mom, Jesus is our father figure. And
Mm.
that just touched my heart so big, like, Lord knew what kind of kids I needed. And for him to just say that in that moment, it was like, you're right. You're right. You're so right. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Well, it reminds me of something I heard a long time ago. I heard a woman say, the biggest obstacle in her pursuing her goals is she said the same reason why she was pursuing big goals. She said, "Don't ever let your why become your excuse." And um, I hear that because there's times where I'm just like, I don't know if I can do that. That's taking time away from my kids. But we're doing this for our kids, and a lot of us women that are as wildly passionate about pursuing career things, but are also moms, it's usually our kids that give us the drive. And so I say again, if you show me your circle, I'll show you your future. But if you show me a kid, I'll tell you about his mom. And so realize everything we're doing is modeling for them as well. Um, and modeling is the biggest form of teaching we could ever give to them. Well, I know you have to go, but I want to ask you one more question. Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah, sure, go
Okay.
ahead.
So, as a high achieving woman that you are, you're probably always learning. Um, I don't know that doesn't mean you're an avid reader, but I know that you're always learning. And so, what's
Mhm.
something right now you're listening to or reading or just feeling very hungry about?
Actually, I'm doing a lot of journaling right now. I wasn't big on journaling, but my mom, she bought me this journal. I think I have it right here. I'll show you what it looks like. And she told me, I want you to write down, I don't want you to journal about, your day or anything. I just want you to write down all the good things that's happening in your life. And I was like, okay, I never looked at it like that. And so for me to even look through and look back through it, I'm like, I am awesome. Things are going great. But on top of that, I'm also reading a book called Woman Evolved from Sarah Jake.
Ooh, Sarah
Yeah,
Jakes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and I think it's just something I need to hear right now. It's keeping me motivated and going. So, but yeah, that's just where I'm at right now. I typically use a lot of read a lot of books like to help with real estate and things, but I'm keeping my mental together. So, I'm enjoying the book with Woman Evolve. I am.
Well, I'll tell you, I've always believed leaders are readers, and that doesn't mean it could be audible, it could be a podcast, but I believe that leaders are always just like hungry because the more that
Mhm.
we know, the more we realize we don't know nothing,
Yes.
you know? Um,
Yes,
but
I do.
well, I just want you to know, as a woman who is just so driven, sometimes I think to myself, girl, just take a beat. Um, from the minute I met you, Selena, you inspired me. Your gentle confidence is very contagious. And I think as women, I have felt so much competition in my life. And why we women compete more than we try to help each other and connect and build one another up is beyond me. But
Mhm.
when I looked around and everybody in my inner circle was a man, I was like, something's wrong because we women are just built different.
Mhm.
And so I just want to say thank you for being inspiring, loving, kind, inviting, sharing, being vulnerable. Um, it means the world to me.
Thank you.
So
Thank
thank you.
you. I want to thank you as well because I can say the same about you from when I met. Conversation was great. Your aura was just there. And I'm like, she is so nice. I hope we get to talk more after this because, we met um, at a showing. So it's just good to know that, we call each other, text each other, and still have that connection, and I thank you for that because a lot of women do want to compete, and I'm more of a collaborator. I rather us collaborate. So I thank you for
Mhm.
being in that space and thank you for having me.
Yes, well, hopefully we'll get you back for another one and let's set up that lunch with Troy here soon.
Yes, yes. All
Oh,
right.
and real quick, I forgot to mention, you're an author. You have a podcast. Like, do you want to drop any of that information here for our guests?
Well, yeah, I mean, I have two books out actually on Amazon, And one I did before I was married was under Selena G. Wiggins, and that was a I forgot what it's called, but it's more than one author in it, and we have it's called, what is it called? The Journey to Love Again. The Journey to Love
Okay.
Again. So that's on Amazon. And then I have a book self-authored, Selina G. Bradley, and it's the Millionaire Mom Mindset. So yeah, if you want to take a look, they're both on Amazon. You can get those there. Yeah, so that was part of my author journey.
Congratulations. I know you're not done and you're still in process as well. So, anyways, I'm sure we'll be in touch soon. Thanks for being a guest today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. All right.